I'm just gonna say what I feel. Listen, I'ma stand on my position. I've always been a man and never ran from my position. I've always took a stand to expand on contradictions. How you cancel Kyrie but not your Amazon subscription. I'm from the base, so it's relevant. If we condemn him for the link, go after Bezos for selling it. I do not agree with his rhetoric, but we should scrutinize both guys, not just the side with melanin. Now we about to take another elegant. It's costly when your gene pool is out of pocket, they relishing. Every misstep we take abrupt, so you can understand it takes less than 4 quarters to break a buck. LeVar Burton, we all searching for proof. Get caught with a black thought and they strangle you by your roots. They dangled us by a noose. If you knew better than you measure misinformation from truth, not with the news fed us. They have to bait you in order to aggravate you. Continue to sell trauma, then tell you they advocate you. There's only 2 ways we get to reach success. Either promote death or let them put you in a dress. We kill each other cause we focused on the bands. Buck shots and take off, the fans posted on the gram. Self-inflicted violence, desensitized from homicide. Drama brings viewers and viewers create dollar signs. You know how much this country loves narcissists. We deify stars and pray at the feet of pharmacists. Prescription drugs, pop music is well kept. We medicate our kids, these rappers become the sale reps. And the active ingredients is obedience. Instead of microphones and the styrofoam, there's lenience. We hypersexualize the naive, get them high and high the intent, and the BPM is the medium. We all should be accountable for slander. Keep the same tone for those with a Jones and gerrymander. Some of us scared to answer. Ignorance is paradise. Got a yellow tapeworm and these bullets are parasites. Stuck in a careless fight, looking elsewhere brings anorexic pipe dreams with no healthcare means. How many heads were turning when Mississippi was burning and Brett Favre got a bag? That's a welfare queen. I repel those schemes and scams out. You were given the upper hand, now you handling handouts. Too late, but the plan's out. When you black, it's a risk. It be more than a play sheet that they slap on your wrist. My reaction is this: don't expect me to play it still when you constantly move the goal and unlevel the playing field. You point the finger, deflecting your impotence with your social media mob that's flooded with hypocrites. Rappers get convicted from lyrics, it's like a cheat code just to be paid in full. Now you staring at a Rico. Look up underneath those who created the climate. If you're not the one that's selling this sickness, then you're a client. You know how much this country loves narcissists. We deify stars and pray at the feet of pharmacists. Prescription drugs, pop music, we love it. Ingest in our bloodstream and sell it back to the public.
Shout out Locksmith. Had to open it up with something heavy. Y'all know what time it is. It's blackmarket.tv. It's another Tuesday night. We got a few guests in the building. We'll introduce them in a second, but what's good, Solo?
It's poppin', man. How you? God bless everybody. Hope all is well. Appreciate everybody tuning in. You know what I'm saying? We miss y'all. I know y'all missed us. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you had a good Valentine's Day. So hopefully it was, you know, you guys hit the right moment, whether it be by yourself or with somebody, your significant other and all that. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. We here in another week. You know what I'm saying? Y'all still ugly. You know what I mean? Eggs are still high. And that's life. We just got to deal with it. And we moving on. What's up with you, kid?
Chilling, man. You know, getting through this car accident scenario. Got a new whip and going to doctor's appointments and doing all that. You know what I'm saying?
You got a new whip, or they loaned you one before you got your new whip?
Well, they loaned me one first. It took me a few weeks, and then I got a new whip. So, you know, a little bit of an upgrade. You know what I'm saying? A little bit.
Now, when you say little, you lying, son. The upgrade was a little bit, son. I don't want to hear all that.
Guess who you got on the ride today?
Who we got?
Oh snap! E-Man Drums in the building.
Oh, he back.
What's up,
back. Sure. What's up, y'all?
With the Selena shit. Okay, I see you.
Yeah, you already know anything for Selena. You sounded just like her, bro.
Yes, I've been working.
I'm sure Will is impressed.
Yeah. I've been working hard.
What you been up to? Bro?
Man, you know, just working, you know, doing this community stuff, you know, starting on a new initiative and event that we're going to be having in Sulphur Springs in July, Lord willing. That's been pretty much it, man. Just a community, you know. just out there speaking with some college students in Orlando like 2 days ago with original Young Lord David Rivera. And, got some stuff cooking up with Will Covington, our guest today.
Our guest today, Will Covington. Matter of fact, let me pull him in here so he can join our conversation. Boom, we got 4 screens today. Welcome to the podcast, Will.
Hey, pleasure to be with you guys. Emmanuel invited me, so here I am.
There we go. How did you two meet?
Well, with the EM3?
Credible Messages.
Yeah,
yep.
CM3. I'm sorry. Hey, man, when you get my age, you forget what the heck you're doing. You forget sometimes how to put your pants in your legs, or your legs in your pants. See?
Yeah, he got me.
Yeah, he did. That's what's up. All right.
Yeah, basically we were we do some community stuff together, and there was an event that they put together that he's probably going to talk about called We Want Your Name in Lights. And so I actually produced a track, an Afrobeats track for a youth that had won that little show that they have. And so that's how we basically met, was that community stuff that we work and collaborate on.
That's all that pad beating, bro. That's all that pad beating. You know
all that pad beating, right.
Which Will, you're also a drummer, correct?
Well, I was a drummer. I don't play too much now because my right leg ain't kicking like it used to. So I don't play drums now, but I do produce a lot of different tracks and a lot of different music because all I need is a mixing board and a computer and a telephone.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a fact.
It's a new day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a new day, but I still go with analog.
You still go with analog?
Yeah, which keeps the music soft.
I noticed that, one of the things that we learned in, when we were going through production school was that the distortion on analog, the distortion, you get that warmth and that feel, and you still get some of it in where the digital kind of cuts out instead of allowing it to push through the threshold.
You're absolutely right. When you find your niche when it comes to producing and stuff, then that's what you roll with. Because this, to me, I'm from the old school, so a lot of the digital stuff I implement, or I pretty much put everything together sometime with the digital, but I have live musicians too. That's how my music sounds a little bit different than some of the average guys who just stay digitally all the way. I bring in live musicians to accompany the actual musicians. The instruments, the digital.
Do you write the reference beforehand, or do you let the musicians come in and kind of do their thing?
No, I don't let them come in and do their thing. They got to come in and do what I ask them to do.
Got you.
Because we paying them.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we paying them. We're not dealing with musicians who can't read music either. So a lot of times we have sheet music for them to read, because if you work, yourself till you can actually read music, then you'll find out you go a heck of a lot farther than if you can't read.
Yeah. Which you've been pretty far. You have quite the journey. I actually did some homework on you. Tell me a little bit about you're a Grammy Award Winning drummer. You work with big names. But where do you come from? Like, where did that start?
Miami, 1965. That's when I became professional, in 1965.
So what age did you really start
15.
playing rhythm?
15 years old.
15.
I started playing professional at 15. Had a brand new car and no driving license.
Said brand new car and no driver's license. You ever get pulled over in that car?
Nope.
No, he drove safe.
No, cause my uncle looked like a white man, so they wouldn't bother me.
Oh, there you go.
He messed up some baseball fields, though.
Yeah. I used to do, we used to take the car, and because I was one of the only guys that young that had a new car. But I would take the car and I would ride up on a pitcher's mound at the stadium, at the baseball stadium, and I would ride up on it on 2 wheels and make the car lean over. and then once it hit, I would do a figure 8. I had fun with the car.
I see that.
Yeah. So You know what they're doing now? What they're doing? They don't do donuts now. What they call it? Something when they
Drift.
spin it. Yeah, drifting and all that kind of crazy stuff. I'm scared of that.
Yeah. Will, you are the reason that we can't have a license till 16. See?
If you think that's something, let me tell you this here. You know why when you walk into a radio station that you have to go in there and stop at the receptionist desk? Because we used to go in with a baseball bat and a bag of money.
Play this music. I feel it. That's that old school.
Yeah, well, hey, I told you, 1965 all the way up.
So how did the music feel back then? How did the scene and the music itself feel back then compared to now?
Well, the music back then was real. The music now, very few musicians can do real music. What I mean by real music, I'm talking about you can really feel the music and you can feel the lyrics. You can understand what they're saying. You can actually feel what the musicians are playing. You know, you can't too much feel that now because you got so much digital situations in the way, really, to me, you know. But the music back then was, you know, I mean, you can't explain the feeling. It was just a great feeling, and it still is now. I like old school music is still sounding good.
It's still,
you know.
Yes, it is. Amen.
Us hip hoppers sample it a lot. That's what we do.
Well, yeah, but that's what you get charged for too if we catch you sampling it.
Right.
but that's okay, you know, because a lot of R&B artists get sampled. I mean, more than anybody, you know, get sampled. I mean, millions and millions of samples go out, you know, because in the music industry, and I know you guys maybe not be aware of it, but it's 40,000 songs come out every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every day.
It's easier to make music now.
Yeah, but that don't mean you're going to be successful.
Correct.
It just you make music.
Right. Correct.
See, being successful take, you know, skill, knowledge, and most of all, you got to have a great network.
Right.
And the least that you got to have is money. That's least. But the reason I say least is because $250,000 is easy to have, I guess.
Right. So back then it was what, the Ink Spots?
That was the first group I played with in 1965. Yes, I played with them at the very beginning. A friend of mine, he was playing with them, and matter of fact, he was an older brother of some major guy. They were much older than me, but I was able to play very well. So they knew my family, and they said, okay, well, what we'll do, you know, we'll give Will a chance to try to play. So I went and practiced with them a little while, and they said, okay, yeah, we'll use you. But my mom said, nope, you got to go to school. So what happened is during the summer, I would play with them, and during term of school, I would have to go to school. But I ended up playing with them up until 1969.
And what kind of music did y'all play?
Well, what they call is soft shoe. I don't know if you guys young, y'all don't know nothing about soft shoe music. But anyway, soft shoe music is like with the dum do 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 do, you know, that kind of.
Exactly what you're talking about. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of, you know, like half tap dancing music.
I got you. So, yeah. And where did you go from there after you stopped playing with them? Where was next?
When I went from there in 1969, I wanted to do something that a lot of people probably had admiration to do, and that was start my own record label. Well, in 1969, when I tried to start my own record label, I had made a lot of money from 1965 to 1969, but I was not able to accomplish what I needed to do as far as having a record label because I didn't have the knowledge. I had money and no knowledge. So you know what happened? I ended up pissing all over the wage trying to think I know what the heck I'm doing. And I didn't know. And so I lost a lot of money at that time. But in 1972, I got my first record deal. So I don't call it a loss. I call it just gaining knowledge.
Yeah. You invested into gaining that knowledge. What was that first record?
So what now?
What was that first record?
The first record that we tried to do was called Hard Way Out.
Okay.
Okay, but then in 1972, the record came out. We had Dedicate All My Love, Emergency, Let Go, a lot of different songs, man. You know,
Nice.
But those songs from 1972 to 1976, we sold, man, I'll tell you, we sold maybe, 400,000 records,
Yeah.
which is not a lot really with these days standards with the majors, but it is a lot because anytime you sell 100,000 records, that's a lot. Back then, we got money for albums. You don't get no money now for streams. It takes 3 streams now to make a penny. So in order to make $32,000 a year, you got to have 10 million streams.
Well, you hear that, Solo? 10 million streams, bro.
I'm good on all that.
Just to make a basic money off of streaming, just a basic salary.
40,000. That's what you said.
No, 32,000.
32,000.
10 million streams.
You still getting food stamps at that cost.
Right, exactly.
You feel what I'm saying?
But you have that. But then that's to get 32,000 in a year.
Yeah.
Make 32,000 a year.
10 million streams.
But look how much money you got to have to promote that to be able to get 10 million streams.
Now let me ask you a question, Will. That you bring up a good point here. Back then, did it take as much money to do it, or did it take less?
Well, you could say it took more money, but what happened is back then a record label will give you money. Right. See, they don't give no money anymore like they used to. Back then, they'll come up and they'll give you $500,000-$600,000 to promote, to put you out and promote you if you sign with them. But now you can't. They won't give you nothing, unless they'll ask you, hey, how many streams you got? That's the first thing they ask you. You look up there, and I got 500 streams. Well, hey, you can go to New York. They got you stumbling at the mouth then, But if you come up and say, hey, man, I got 5 million streams, hey, okay, let's look at it. Let's talk about it.
Which 5 million streams is you're a functioning business by that point at 5 million streams. So they want you to be ready to go.
Right. So you got to be already ready. You got to be moving. They're not going to you got to be developed. See, what happened back when we was doing music, we had what we call development in the record labels. Mm-hmm. They don't have artist development now. So what happened now, a lot of the people that are in the music industry now, what they're doing, they're basically putting together independent labels and trying to develop artists. But when you put an independent label together and try to develop artists, if you don't have any money, man, you beating you're gonna have to have a 40-hour week job. That's bottom line.
Oh, we know that struggle, Solo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm struggling just by hearing it.
You'll be all right, Solo. You just gotta keep pushing, man. Gotta keep believing and keep working at it, and don't let nobody change your vision, bro. Keep your vision. Don't have everybody talking in your ear about how to make it, because if they haven't made it, they can't tell you how to do it.
That's fire right there. That's what that deserves right there. That's what that deserves. Facts.
Let me get the other one too, son.
Which one?
That's a message.
That message. That one right there. We got a few ones to play with over here. Well, no, I mean, you give us some good insight here. So let me ask you a question. Back then, the development side of it, why do you think that went away?
Because it costs money. It costs money to develop artists. And the record companies found out, and they figured out that, hey, look, let's let these people who think they know what they're doing with record label, let them produce artists that become halfway good. Don't have to be all the way good. And then we take them from them and finish it up. But they will not finish it up unless you actually know those people and be in their network. The majority of the A&R people that are out there now, they're so young, they're scared they'll lose their job because an A&R person job don't last for 3 years. And if he don't bring somebody that's successful, he's fired.
Yeah, they find another A&R that knows how to find talent, right?
Yeah. Unless the only people that don't get fired are the vice president of A&R and the executive vice president of A&R. Those are the only two people that don't get fired. All the regular people running around hollering about, I'm an A&R for this company, I'm an A&R for that company. Yeah. Well, how many hit artists have you brought us? How many artists have you brought us that we spent our money on that were successful?
Right.
If you haven't brought any that's successful, well, look, year one, you brought somebody that sold 200,000 records. Year two, you brought somebody that sold 100,000 records. Year three, no, we ain't taking no chance. You fired.
Right.
So if you look at the record, you'll see that every 3 years, A&R people are changing. And a lot of times what happened, though, they go to this company, go to that company. Another thing that you find out about a lot of A&Rs, they start their own independent labels to try to develop artists so the company will buy from them since they're already in the network.
Right. I've seen that a lot. That actually happens a lot, especially in the, I know on the hip hop side it does. We travel a few cities and there's a lot of labels that are set up that way. You could tell that they're set up to either sell themselves off or sell artists.
That's what you do. Well, it's a stock market. You sell them. It's just like selling cows. You load them up and you feed them and you kick them out. Let somebody else buy them.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy, right, Solo?
Wild.
Wow.
Yeah, you can imagine the conversations I've been able to have with them just on a one-on-one basis. It's
it's interesting. It's intriguing.
I wouldn't do no work. I literally sit next to him and just listen to all that all day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's easy. It's easy to do. Trust me.
So now
work. Cause listening to me is work.
You know what though? It gives us some perspective because we live in this new age of music and these new markets, and going in as an artist, when we started our thing in 2010 back then, before we were touring, it was like we were plugging into this whole new mindset of music and how to do the business and how it moves through the networks, and that's even changed since then. It's changed so drastically. A&R is for us, like I see an A&R all the time at some showcase. They're always advertising themselves. It's no longer like an A&R rep from a label. It's like an A&R they're repping like 2 or 3 labels and they're just trying to sell artists. And you could see this. There's like a lot of space for scams. It's just a whole different world these days.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially on social media.
So to hear what it was then and what it is now and how it shifted, I mean, you've had the perspective of seeing it from then to now.
Yes, I had the perspective of seeing it from then to now, and still I end up knowing how to deal with people now, because what happened is they can't pull the wool over my face. They can't do that because I know how the industry works. Plus, what happened is I try to teach a lot of the young artists the business, which is more important. The business is more important than doing the music. And see, that's why they fail to realize the business is more important than the music. If you learn the business, you can make money. You learn the music, you might not never make no money. You might always be doing promotional shows somewhere.
Right. That's the hamster wheel, bro. That's the hamster wheel. And most people are stuck in that hamster wheel these days.
Exactly. 70%, I say.
So
they're stuck in it because the industry built an illusion. The illusion was, listen, everything is going digital. That's the illusion that they want you as an artist to see, a new artist. Guess what? You constantly trying to do stuff on social media, digitally, and all of that. And guess what they doing? They selling LPs overseas, making millions.
Yeah.
And you over here trying to do 1 million streams. They selling 1 million LPs. For $24 a piece. You ain't getting nothing.
Why do you think it's different here?
It's different here because that's the illusion that they created, and a lot of the musicians so doggone naive till they not learning the business. They're not learning the business. They see the glory on TV and in movies and on these shows where all these major stars out there doing what they got to do. Oh boy, look at that Beyonce. Look at that. I'm gonna be like Jay-Z. Shit. What? No, that ain't happening. It's not that easy. You have to be able to put yourself in a position where you're willing to sacrifice work. You got to sacrifice. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the practice. And you definitely got to put in the knowledge. Listen, every day I study the industry. Every day, 24/7. I'm not talking about 5 days a week and rest 2 days. I'm talking about 7 days a week and rest some nights.
Right.
Some nights, even now, some nights I'm up to 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, learning, studying, because guess what? In the music industry, 2 things happen. The technology change and the people change. People change because they die. The technology change because it always evolves.
Right. It does.
Got that?
Yeah, I got that.
All right.
And people are coming. The younger people come in. People are born, and within 5 to 10 years, that industry changes because that audience changes out constantly.
It changes every other year. It's changing.
Yeah.
Because the technology is changing. The average guy that's producing don't even know they do. Do you guys know what Adobe is?
Adobe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what Atmos Adobe is?
I don't think so.
See what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. When you go into the movies, what do you hear? What you think it is? Surround sound?
Oh, you're talking about Atmos. Yeah.
That airplane flying over when you see an airplane flying, the next thing you know, you hear that airplane that sound like right over your head.
Yeah.
That's called Atmos Dolby. That's take a special kind of equipment to get that sound. The average engineer can't do that. The average engineer can't work that equipment.
Right.
You got to be trained for that.
Right. They got to record it a certain way too, don't they?
But that's what I'm talking about. The engineer has to know how to do that.
Right. Yeah.
But the engineer that do that don't do the mastering, because you have mastering labs, which is different than if you go and you buy a mastering app. You can buy a mastering app, man. Oh man, I can master this. I master my own music.
They run it through Lander.
But if you go to a mastering lab and you compare it to what somebody did on a mastering app, you will hear the difference.
Right. Which I always was preferable to like stem mastering, when we did like the music. That way we can have like the different sections be mastered individually and then put all together at once. Yeah,
but that's not mastering. That's mixing.
Yeah. Well, we did a mix and then we sent it out to the mastering guy.
Yeah, and he do it.
Yeah.
But he got special trained ears for that because that's all he do.
Yeah, that's all he does.
He don't do no mixing. He only do mastering. That's all he does.
You think
most people aren't familiar with the different terms and the different jobs, and that's something that a lot of musicians just are completely ignorant about.
Well, a lot of people gonna come to you and they say, I'm a master engineer. You are? Master engineer where? Oh man, I got a studio in my house. Shit, you ain't no master engineer then.
Right.
Unless you blessed enough to have a studio in your house that costs $300,000.
Yeah, you gotta have the right equipment for that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear that. So let me ask you. So let's go back to your journey here. So and now we're here. After you had your label and then you said you got a label deal, do you feel like having the label helped you in your label deal and make sure that it was right?
Well, I didn't get my label deal then. I got a recording deal.
Recording deal, yeah.
But I got a recording deal that worked from 1972 to 1976. But what happened with that is that's why I tell you to study and learn the business. The recording industry, the copyright laws changed in 1976. By the copyright laws changing, that meant that I can go back, all that music that we did from 1972 to 1976, I can reclaim it because it's mine.
Right.
But the label owned it up until 1976. But they still owned it till 25 years later. They could still hold on to it for 25 more years. But see, God bless me enough to live 25 more years.
Right. Facts.
You see?
Yeah.
So they didn't, they don't expect you to live that long, to be able to get your music back a lot of times. But if you don't study the business, you won't even know you can get your music back.
That's interesting. Solo, did you know that?
Like I said, bro, I'm learning. I ain't saying nothing. Y'all go ahead.
He's taking notes.
All that.
Oh,
but that's good, Solo, because the industry is something that you got to learn. You got to learn the business of it, bro. You got to be able to learn the business. You learn the business, you'll be successful.
Yeah. Now, you said something important earlier. You said about your network, right? And I know that you got you began playing for BB King. Am I correct?
Yes.
At some point, and that came from your network, from people that you were connected to, right?
That came from people that I was connected to. But first of all, let me tell you, two guys. Luther Dixon, who produced a major group called the Shirelles that worked for Motown, and Dave Crawford, who was a guy who produced a young lady who did Stand By Your Man that worked for Stax Records. I don't know if you ever heard of these companies. I know you heard of Motown, but Stax Records, you might have heard of too. And what they did, Gwen and I, we owned the studio, my wife and I, we owned the studio in Miami. And they came by the studio, and they were friends of mine because we've been in the industry. Everybody been in the industry a long time, so we knew each other. Mm-hmm. So they came by the studio and they said, hey, can we use your studio? So Gwen and I said, yeah, hey, they friends of ours. So we didn't charge them because they friends, right? So we said, okay, go ahead, use it. So they went in the back and they went in the studio and they did whatever they were doing. We did not even follow them to see what they were doing. We didn't care what they were doing. They could have been snorting coke, busting heads, or whatever they wanted to do. We didn't care. Man. Whatever they were doing, it was their business because it was our studio. And if we want you to use it for no money, that's you. That's what we do because you're our friend. So they came up to the front door. The funniest incident about it, when they came to the front door, they said, we came to pay you. I said, well, shit, give me the money. Well, they didn't have none. Okay. So I said, well, you ain't got no money. They said, no, man, but we will come back and pay you. I said, okay. So about a year and a half later, 2 years later, they came back and they said, we come to pay you. So I stick my hand out reaching for the money, thinking I'm going to get some money. Mm-hmm. They said, no, we don't have no money, but BB King is at this other studio waiting on you to come and play. I said, y'all bull crapping. They said, no, he's waiting on you at the other studio for you to play. Well, they knew I could handle the job. So that wasn't nothing. They knew I had been playing with a lot of major people and a lot of good people. And I was one of the best drummers at that time out of Miami. And everybody in the industry knew that. So they said, okay, you go over there. But what happened is, by my wife having a master's degree in business administration and everything, she was my manager. So she filled out all the paperwork for the studio that needed to be filled out because I did belong to the musicians union. Okay. So when we got to the studio, we had the paperwork to turn over to the studio. So I would get paid union dues. Not that dang $50 I go in there and I'm so excited about playing till they pay me $50. No, you're gonna pay me union scale so that I can get my real money that I'm supposed to be getting for my talent and my skills. So B.B. King was sitting on the sofa. So when I walked in, he said, "You will?" I said, "Yeah, I'm will." He said, "There the drums over there. Show me what you got." So I went and sat behind the drums, and by me, what happened? I've been blessed too, because I don't know. I know you heard of Aretha Franklin,
of course,
but her drummer is the one taught me how to play black music, because the funny incident, I couldn't play black music. I couldn't play with soul. I learned how to play soft shoe. And learn how to play with the backbeat and all that, with James Brown and all that kind of stuff. I didn't know that at that time when I was 15 years old. So when I got ready to do B.B. King, I knew it, because what happened is Jackie Gleason, drummer, taught me how to read music.
Okay.
You know who Jackie Gleason is, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, he taught me how to read music.
Nice.
So I go into the studio and I sit down. So I got technique. I got all the technique that you need to be a good drummer. So I sit down and I play a little something for him, and he said, "Well, can you play to this track?" So there no drums on the track, but he said, "Could I play on the track?" And my timing was impeccable. I mean, my timing was like A1.
It's important for your drummer to be like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got down and I start playing, and he said, hold it. I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "You want to play on my whole album?"
Wow.
I said, "What?" He said, "You want to play on my whole album?" I said, "Yeah, man. Yeah, if you want me to." And that was the first time I ever made $3,000 in one day. Yeah.
That was a good day.
That was in 1983, because the album didn't win a Grammy until 1985.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was 4 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went on and I did that, and we after I won that Grammy, I mean, a lot of things. But I went on tour with the Commodores. I toured with them from Miami all the way up to Washington, D.C. But what I was able to do, I was able to sign 6-month contracts. So that meant I don't give a doggone who you was. I couldn't keep playing with you after the 6 months over. I had to go and play with the other people I had signed a contract with.
Gotcha.
So I ended up playing from Miami to Washington, D.C. with them. I left Washington, D.C., went to Texas and toured all over Texas and Louisiana for 6 months. Then I left there and went to South America and toured over there. And then came back again.
Okay. Okay.
That's dope. That's a good. So do you feel like after the Grammy, life changed? Like, did it fast forward you into the industry?
What?
The Grammy, after the Grammy. Do you feel like it changed things, or do you feel it stayed the same?
No, because I was crazy as hell. And what happened then, it didn't mean nothing to me. It was just another award.
Gotcha.
Some people get the tripping out and carrying on about it, but it didn't mean nothing to me. If it wouldn't have been for my wife, it probably wouldn't mean nothing to me now. But she showed me the importance of doing that, of having it. So I really appreciate her for that. And so that's what I'm doing. So, I mean, I got people calling me every day, every week, all the time, calling me, wanting me to work with them, want me to do this, want me to do that. But what happened is I learned the business, and I keep doing the business. I keep doing the business. And to be successful, you got to do the business. You got to know the business.
Right.
You know.
So do you like the production side now?
I like the production side if the artists will listen.
That's hard.
But if it's not hard, because if they won't listen, I tell them don't come.
Oh.
Simple.
It makes it makes it clear.
If they don't want to listen to what I'm saying and don't want to understand what I'm trying to do, what I believe in doing, I believe in trying to do a hit record every time you go in that studio. It may not sound like it to you, but have you ever had a hit? You know what I'm saying? A lot of artists they say their song, this my song is a hit. It's a good song. Hey, just because you think it's a good song don't mean it's a hit.
Right.
But I would not stop your creativity. I would try to enhance parts of what you're doing. So, because it's one thing I've been blessed with, I had a lot of hits over the years. So I can hear what a hit record is. I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
See? So that comes with experience and it comes with time.
Mm.
It comes with time. When you hear Dr. Dre and all those guys producing all these hit records and all of that stuff, Dr. Dre only did that because look at the years he put in learning how to do that with Suge Knight before he went to Interscope by himself. Mm-hmm. It took years. How many years he was with Suge Knight and then before that? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
He was rapping before that, I'm pretty sure too.
So it's not like he just jumped out there and become superstar overnight. He worked hard for that. You know?
Yeah, he stayed in the studio from what I understand.
Yeah, but that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a producer. Now it's different kind of producer. You can have executive producer and you can have a music producer. And then what happened now, they got it kind of mixed up a little bit because they think just because they're doing tracks, they can produce. But that's not necessarily so.
I was just
that's
about
that
to
beat maker producer conversation that you have amongst our community very much.
I was just about to bring that exact conversation up. What's your feeling on this beat? Because you know, in our industry today, there's a lot of discussion between, and they call it that, producers versus beat makers. Beat makers are the guys that just make beats. They give them to artists, they sell them, and then they say that producers are the people that actually involve themselves in the process of creating.
Yeah, and then the executive producer is who?
Is the guy who would set up all the marketing, business side, all the contracts.
He's the guy, yeah, but he's the guy who pays for everything.
Yeah. There's that. Yeah.
He pays for everything. So because he pays for everything, he should have the say.
I get that.
This is vital information that a lot of musicians need to be hearing. If anybody's watching, this is stuff that people pay for, you know, this kind of conversation.
They need to pay me $150 an hour, but I ain't charging you guys.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But
yes,
this is
Emmanuel, my friend, so that's okay.
These are gems, man. He drops them all the time. Gems, absolute gems. It's a blessing to even know Will, to even have the conversations like that, you know?
So Emmanuel, how does it feel? How does it feel knowing that you have these conversations with him? Obviously, you have this connection with him. You're a producer, you know, on your own, you know, doing the things that you do.
Right.
How does it feel having access to this information and being able to kind of learn from him?
It's invaluable, bro. I mean, you can't put a value on the kind of information and conversations that I can have with Will at any given time, you know? My close proximity to him, and it's only, you know, it hasn't been that long, right? You know, but just a short time period, I feel like I've learned quite a bit just in the conversations that we had. And I mean, honestly, it's definitely not lost on me. You know what I'm saying? It's not lost on me at all. Just exciting, you know what I'm saying? I mean, how often do you get to talk to someone who has literally worked with every artist you've sampled? Like, he's literally worked with everyone that I've ever sampled, and some. So, a blessing to say the least.
That was a sample confession.
I didn't make no money off of it, though. I didn't make any money off of it. We good.
That's all right. I ain't gonna tell it.
How does it feel? There you go. Will, how does it feel to work with younger artists these days and younger producers like Emmanuel?
Well, working with Emmanuel, it feels different because Emmanuel had put me in another zone, which is that EDM, which was something I always wanted to deal with and never had a chance to really deal with anybody that know how it works. So with him, I know that we can share knowledge. I mean, I'm not going to try to get up there and be a beat maker on the daggone thing that he's doing. I can't do that. I'm not even going to try it. But I can give him some advice to how to advance what he's doing. Right. You know, as far as the business-wise, not the technique and all that. He got that. but I can tell him some things business-wise that'll help him move a little bit farther and get a little higher in the industry and be able to make his own brand. That's the key for him, to make his own brand, you know. To be able to even communicate with a lot of the young artists. I have some young artists that I communicate with, and the reason I communicate with them is because they listen. They really listen at what I'm saying. They don't be like, oh, I know how this works. I know how to do this and all that. No, they listen to me. They really listen to me. So I cherish young artists that pay attention. I don't know everything, but it's one thing that I do know. I've been in it long enough to know who knows something. See, yeah. So since I don't know everything, I know who I can ask. I know people that produce Bruno Mars. I know people that produce Beyonce. I know people that produce the City Girls. I know these people personally. So I can communicate with them and they talk to me. It ain't like they don't, it ain't like they ignore when I call. They may not call me right back at that time because they be busy all the time, but they will call me before the day is over. You understand what I'm saying? And ask me, hey, Will, what's going on? What's the matter? You know what I'm saying? So I cherish that, but I cherish the young people that really care about being better at their craft and honoring their parents. That means something too. Mm-hmm. And then I also preach, look, I know you're going to curse. You're going to do that. But you can't come over here with that. you can't come to me with that. You can't come to me degrading women. You can't come to me using the N-word. I don't care how much you think that's where it's that's what's happening. No, it ain't what's happening in the industry. It might be what's happening in the little cliques, but it's not what's really happening in the industry for you to be successful.
Right. Those things don't make you successful. You can create different content.
Right. But the other thing too, you can't go overseas with that.
Right. Right. Yeah.
You can stay in the US with it, but you can't go to the Netherlands, to Holland, to France, to Belgium, to Germany. You can't go to those countries and perform in those countries doing that. You want to be in these big festivals around the world, you can't do that.
Yeah, you've got to have some family-friendly stuff to get to get on a larger market.
Yeah.
Or at least have family-friendly versions. Yeah.
Right. You want to play for the universe. You don't want to play for some little old 500 people.
Right.
Now, if you want to build your cult following, build them. But a cult following is no good if the cult following won't spend no money.
Yeah. And it's very hard to get those. Yeah. Very few artists have a cult following that really spends. Yeah. You know?
Right. There you go. That's what I'm saying.
I think Tech Nine is one of them. Tech Nine has a good cult following. They'll pay for whatever, but he's very rare. Yeah. He's a rare artist.
Yeah. He's an isolated incident, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not that many out there that's doing it.
Right.
You know, so hey, what do we say? We just say, pay attention, learn, be quick to listen and slow to speak. Mm-hmm. And you'll learn something.
Right. And you work with young people a lot, don't you? You guys have some also.
Yeah, well, we have a summer program for the kids. What we do once a month, we have a program called So You Want Your Name in Lights. Okay. And what we do with that, once a month, we do a showcase. And we bring the kids in, and it's free for the kids. And they from 12 years old to 17. They come in, they do their talent. If they win, we just like American Idol, they get a gold ticket to be in the finals. Okay? Then the finals ends in May. And everybody with a gold ticket get $500.
I'm trying to sign up. Huh?
No, you too old. you too old.
He shut you down right away. He said, "Nope, you're past the age."
Yeah. Well, what happened?
Grow, get your own money, Solo.
A lot of older people see.
You gotta try, bro.
People like you could go to work and come up with the money to pay for the studio because we give them studio time too. Yeah, we give them free studio time, and then we have a summer camp. The summer camp starts in June and it lasts for 6 weeks, and it's a music summer camp. But we teach financial literacy, health and wellness, etiquette. We teach, say what, man? Life skills. She telling me in the background a lot of stuff.
Shouts out Miss Gwen too, because Miss Gwen, she's a big part of what they do.
She is the one who actually. I'm actually just I guess I thought of the idea, whatever, but she actually really the one who runs it.
She's the boss.
I be there, but she's a boss.
Big boss lady for real.
She runs it. She makes sure that it runs smooth. Me, hey, I just use my name. But other than that, she makes sure it runs smooth, and the kids love it, and we love it. And it's something that we always do for the kids, and it's a way that we give back to the community, And we don't care what nationality you are, what your sexual preference or anything. We don't care about none of that. All we're trying to do is enhance your life, give you another situation to create a movement in your life to make you have a future. That's what we try to do.
That's dope.
Now, how long have you guys been working for in youth programs? How long has this program been going on?
Well, we started the showcases in 2009, but in about 4 years ago, we changed from that to saying, wait, that's not helping the community. So we changed to a summer camp where we can get the community involved, the community kids and their parents bringing their kids, because we couldn't do anything like that, having a showcase once a month, every now and then, because then we got a lot of what happened. Also, we got a lot of older people who figured, hey, man, we're going to get some free studio time and all of this. So they started coming to it. So we had to.
Solo was over there. Let's see what happened.
So we had to lay back a little bit and change the program, change the way we was attacking it.
That's dope. That's dope. Solo, you got anything, bro?
Nah, you took everything out of my mouth, son.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
I want to ask a question. I got a question, actually. Will, I took some time to listen to the album that you guys had won the Grammy on, right? And so it came out in 1985, and I made an observation. So the song that y'all won the Grammy on was My Guitar
Sing the Blues.
Right.
I won't forget that.
Oh, of course not. That one I noticed was very much... the traditional blues sound, right? But the rest of the album obviously it comes out in 1985, but it really sounded like, like B.B. King was going for a different sound on that album.
He did. He went for it. It was his 50th anniversary album, so he didn't want to sound so bluesy.
Okay. I figured, yeah. So he was trying to appeal more to the masses as opposed to the blues crowd.
And he appealed to the masses because the album actually it was on MCA label, which is owned by Universal.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. But he was an innovator, and he really he respected people. He was a good friend. I put it that way. He was a good friend. He was a person that the vibes, you picked up positive vibes from him. I don't care. He wasn't one of those arrogant musicians, that felt like just because he's this big, he can. He can handle you any kind of way. It wasn't like that. He respected everybody. He did that.
Did you encounter a lot of those types of personalities that were difficult also?
No, I wouldn't say they were difficult because all they did, they wanted perfection. They wanted you to be, you getting paid to do a job and you're supposed to be good at it. You can't come up there half-assed. Gonna work. So if they paying you, you be good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not good, somebody else will take your place. That's the bottom line. They're not gonna waste. They're not gonna waste time trying to train you how to play something. They're not gonna do that.
There's no nonsense with Will, man. You listen. A lot of the students from IEDT and Full Sail can use some conversations with Will. Honestly.
Yeah. A lot of people could. I mean, this is insight that you don't always get.
Right.
A lot of us, and as you see, us here, we're not young, but we're not old, older either. You know what I'm saying? We're like in the middle. We're in our mid range still. So we sit on a weird fence because, like, for me, when I got into music, analog was still around. Digital wasn't really a thing just yet. Studios still costed tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to build.
To record. That's right.
And then within 10 years of that, it advanced to now you can record at home. Anybody can create, anybody could produce, and everything was on a computer. You didn't need a keyboard or a motif or anything like that to create anything. You could just create it all on Fruity Loops and just, press buttons,
Let me ask you a question. Even with all that going on, could everybody get a deal?
No, they can't. It
Why?
became too saturated. Everybody was making it and there was no quality.
There you go. That's right. You're absolutely right. No quality. So they may have all the technical parts, but no technical skills.
Correct. Yeah, and they didn't have business skills
Right.
either,
That's where most musicians lack, is the business aspects. At least is in my experience.
Well, most of them don't want to learn it.
Right.
It's too time consuming. And then what they do, they get with them damn unscrupulous lawyers that take all their money. And they go into deals that what end up happening to them, they end up 5 years later, oh man, they took all my money. But then they don't think about how much money did the record label spend on you? How much did it cost the record label to do a video? How much did hotel expenses did the record label pick up? How many traveling expenses did the record label pick up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're not even looking at accounting.
How many bills that the record label picked up?
Yeah.
Oh, well, all that comes out of your royalties.
Right.
So
it's all recoupable.
Go ahead.
It's all recoupable, right?
Yeah. So when they give you an advance, they only lending you that money. They're not giving it to you. So it's going to come out your royalties. And the thing is that majority of the artists don't even know what the 7 different royalty streams are. Get the money.
Right. That's interesting.
They don't know what the royalty streams are. All they do is, man, I just got my royalty check. You're $150. when you could have got $10,000.
Right. Yeah, interesting. Now, I have heard that some people have said that this new generation coming up of artists, that they're a little bit smarter, and they're starting to actually learn some of the business. Have you encountered that on your side, or do you feel like that hasn't really happened yet?
It happened to a few. It happens to some, but what happened is you even though some of them come up and say they learn the business, let me tell you something. When you read the Bible, if you read the Bible and don't do what the Bible say, what happened? You just read a book, right? It's the same thing in the music business. You can do you can go on Google and Google the whole damn thing about the music business, everything you want, and learn everything you want about the music business. But if you don't practice that, it don't work. You can read about it, but you got to do it. And the thing about doing it is, it don't always go the way you say.
Right. Solo, you got
Big
Solo
facts.
excited.
Yeah. Solo's over there about to go crazy right now.
You don't read the Bible, guess what happens? You know what he said?
Oh man, you
Woke
got the man
Solo up.
started.
Solo about to throw a sermon. You just got him started.
It's all right. You heard me.
Will in here preaching facts.
Well, I appreciate your time with us, Will. I appreciate you sharing your story with us.
Okay.
Your wisdom, your experience. That's invaluable, man.
Thank you.
That's invaluable.
Did you happen to share any of the imagery already? Was that when I went down?
Huh? No.
Did you share?
I actually, I didn't get to set it up because you sent it to me a little late. So I didn't get to set it up on the stream here. But we'll post it up on the post promos and stuff like that.
Okay.
Unless I can get it pulled up somehow. Let me see. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna work. Yeah, I have to do that like beforehand. Some things I gotta do beforehand. Some things I could do on the fly. But some things we gotta like have pre-produced before we throw it up on the screen.
Well, hey, the thing is, I like what you're doing. You're doing something and you're instituting knowledge. That's very important.
Mm.
You got to share your knowledge. What you got to be able to do is, if it's something that you don't know, research it, find out about it, and see how to do it.
Right.
And share it. See, a lot of people, they don't want to share the knowledge. They want to try to hold on to it. Hey, holding on to knowledge ain't going to do nothing. Not one thing. It's not going to do nothing for you, and it's not going to do nothing for the people that you're keeping it from. So why hold on to it? Share your knowledge. But a lot of times they say the game is to be sold, not told. Okay? So if the game is to be sold, not told, then that means there's a cost for some people to pay. But you don't want to charge everybody, because some people you charge, if you charge everybody, you don't know who that gem going to be that can help you that you didn't charge. It's the same thing that happened with me with B.B. King. I didn't charge those guys. Look what happened. What if I'd have charged those guys? You think they would have said, B.B. King or whatever? No, they'd have got somebody else.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very interesting. Sharing knowledge. Stop gatekeeping, guys. Stop the gatekeeping.
Yeah.
I hear that. That's gems. You dropped a lot of gems on us. We got a lot to think about now, Will.
So much.
Okay, well, think about it. Give me a call. Give me a holler. I'm here.
Got me contemplating life right now.
Yeah, man. I hope a lot of beat makers, producers, and musicians were watching and tuning in tonight, because a lot of gems, man.
Yeah, a lot of gems, and I definitely want to cut some of this stuff up and post it up because, yeah, it was dope. And the way that you're very articulate too, very articulate and animated.
That's my granddaddy.
Yeah. I just hit the granddad stage. I just became a grandpa. I just entered.
My grandkids, that's what they call me, Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering where that came from, but that's what they call me. But anyway, I try to teach them, especially the boys. I don't teach the girl how to play drums, but because she want to be a cheerleader, and that's what she's doing. But I try to teach the guys, hey, look, learn to play drums or learn to play some instrument. But whatever you do, be good at it. Even if you don't play an instrument or don't want to be in the music business, whatever you do, be good at it. Try to make sure that you can excel in anything that you put your mind to. That's not saying you're not going to run across obstacles, because you do. And that's not saying that I never made mistakes. I did. But they got a situation what they call always get up. No matter how many times you get knocked down, get back up and keep going. I got a saying, and my saying is keep praying, keep the faith, and keep going. Those are my three sayings.
So get excited every time. I'm telling you, about to jump on a sermon soon here.
Well, he can start preaching. I don't care.
Yeah, he loves it. He got an organization called Tunnel Vision,
Good.
And it's specifically for stuff like this. So I hear you.
Okay.
By the way, Will, me and my partner, we enjoyed that champagne. Tell Miss Gwen that it was
what champagne? Oh,
amazing.
See that? I'm so old, I done forgot we even gave him a bottle of champagne. No.
It was some good stuff. That fire. All right.
There we go. There we go. Well, that's our time tonight, fellas. Did we have a good time?
Yes, sir.
I did.
Of course.
Well, I'm glad you did. That's what we want. We want all our guests to have a good time and express themselves and share. And I hope you had a good time with us. I hope you liked the production here, and I want to see what comes out of this. I know Emmanuel's been excited to work with you. So.
Well, I'm here. All you got to do, Emmanuel got my phone number. You got Solo, you know. What's your name?
They call me Imagine or El Presidente.
Oh,
yeah.
I was looking at that thing. I'm like, my damn, I need new glasses.
No.
Imagine. But, you know, you guys, man, you know, you could call me. Solo, you guys could call me. Emmanuel could call me. Imagine could call me. But if you don't be able, if you need my number, Emmanuel got it. So you can call me and you can ask me questions, man. I'm not the kind of person who's going to be so stuck up till I can't answer what you're trying to ask.
We've got some really dope stuff in the works too, man. I'm excited. Yeah. We've got some things on fire.
If I don't know the answer, I'll find somebody who do. Okay?
That's
yes,
good.
Sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Solo, you got anything else?
Bless up. Have a blessed rest of the week. See y'all next Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? And that's it, man.
Word. Emmanuel, anything else?
That's it, man. Y'all said it.
Will, you got any?
I appreciate it, and I thank you guys for inviting me.
All right. Appreciate
thank
you,
you,
boss.
Will.
Take care. All right, y'all. We out.
Yeah.
Bye.
They ain't believe, I know they never believed in me. God set me free, I know that they tired of me talking this heat. Trying to get peace, the way I be rapping don't come from the street. It's coming from me, talking to God before I go to sleep. My old friends, they was doubting, telling me I was just chasing the clout and told me I would never move mountains, now they be trying to surround me. Back in the days, I was recording my feelings, I know they was clowning. Talking about me with all of their peers, I know that they really ain't like me. Remember back when I was fighting, remember my anger was frightening. Remember I needed alignment, all up in there be crying. I know they really ain't care about me like they say they cared about me. Now I'm just staying alone to myself, trying to flee from temptation around me. Now I'm just coming up, walk with the love in my heart and stuff. They try to set me up, they try to get in my head and stuff. Yeah, move when it's time to go. I got a dream and I gotta go. Yeah, what in my pocket swole, but not for the price of my own soul, not for the jewelry or the clothes. Please believe I'll achieve the goal. Please believe me, I promise to you and I promise to you that I'm finna blow. From riding on planes to booking shows, to hearing myself on the radio, to seeing myself on the local news, but not on my own or by myself. I give my glory to someone else. I give my glory to Most High, not to the crystal or to the chakra, not to the false gods, and not to the Buddhists or all of the rulers, the universe or the whole sky, and not to the stars and not to the moon or all of the gold and the idols. Nah, not to the enemy trying to pretend to be everything that I ever wanted, and not to the ones who came in my life and be sneaking around like they up to something, and not to the people who said I'd be nothing that's further than me. Yeah, I'm right behind you, and not to the people that's talking down on my family. Yeah, I peep how you sounding, but I believe in me.